A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 17th September 2020. Day is a Thursday. I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Henry Ford. Don't find fault, find a remedy. What he's trying to tell you here is, of course, see, if you are in a business, if you are in a profession, job, etc., and if you have some challenges and if you are trying to find out like why you are not succeeding and things like that, then you need to find faults. You need to identify those issues, and then you have to work on it. You have to find a solution for it. But here, what Henry Ford is saying is, don't just focus on negative things, right? And if you find something that is negative, then try to find a remedy for it. Or you can say it in simple words that stop complaining all the time, start doing something about it, With this, dear friends, StudyIQ team has designed a smart course. So this smart course is for Civil Services Examination. It covers your pre as well as mains examination, and to find out more about it, all you have to do is download our mobile application on your mobile phone. Till 21st September 2020, EMI option is also available. Make the most out of this offer. On our table, we have 6 important articles. Let's quickly go through it. And to download the PDF of today's lecture, check out my Telegram channel, and don't forget to hit the page, my Facebook page, right? You can press follow or join, and then you will get all the updates regarding me. If you want to get in touch with me, then you can send me your messages on FB as well. Now, dear friends, the most important article, the first one, is about India and China. And the most important thing is not just India and China, but the most important thing is what Defense Minister said about this whole situation. See, we were under lockdown, and then after that, recently on 14th of September, monsoon session has just started, and we were discussing about this thing that there are so many questions. We need answers for so many questions, or government should answer things about what's going on with India-China border. Where do we stand? When I say where do we stand, I mean to say that what is our position? Are we strong? Are we weak? We don't know anything about it. But now, officially, you can say, right, Defense Minister, who is the main boss of Defense Ministry, he has informed, he has delivered a speech in Indian Parliament. So he has addressed all the MPs, he has addressed the whole nation, and directly he has addressed the whole world about India-China border standoff. Mr. Singh has clarified India's position. The most important thing that we have to understand here is that we are prepared. Forces are prepared to deal with any situation. And here he is using the word any. That means, God forbid, we don't want a war. But if there is a war, then India is ready for it as well. Our forces are ready for it or for a war as well. But that does not mean that we will attack, or that does not mean that we need to have a war. No. War will create destruction, right? War is not going to benefit India, or it's not going to benefit China. So the best thing that we can do is talks or discussion, right? And that's what he has said. That's what Government of India has said. That Government of India has said that the preferred choice for Government of India is peaceful resolution. This is what we want. We want to discuss things with China. We want to get rid of all this misinformation and all this, whatever problems are over there. We want to solve it, right? We are ready to discuss things on the table. So that's, I would say, a very logical, or, Government of India has, of course, expressed, sensitivity and sensibility. Not sensitivity, but the right word is sensibility. That we are sensible enough to understand that it is better to talk now rather than after a war. So this is point number 1. Point number 2, we want a peaceful resolution. Point number 3, government has blamed China for violation of agreements, multiple agreements or many understandings and many protocols that were created. A few days ago we were talking about this protocol, so I'm not repeating those protocols, but the most important one is this agreement of 1993, Agreement on Maintenance of Peace and Tranquility along the LAC. This agreement has been violated by China, and China is infamous for this sort of behavior. We find this behavior of China in other parts of the world as well, in South China Sea as well as in East China Sea. On your screen you can see this is South China Sea, this is East China Sea, and dear friends, this is Indian Ocean here. From here you enter this Strait of Malacca. This is Strait of Malacca, and from here you enter this portion called, follow this point here. So this is South China Sea. Now see this dotted maroon line. China claims that this whole region belongs to China. China calls it 9-dash line. And because of this 9-dash line claim, China has created so many enemies in this part. Means, see, they have good business relationship, but deep inside their heart, they are not happy with China's rise, because China is a country that has misbehaved with so many countries, particularly small countries here. See, Japan is a very important player or investor as well as trade partner of China, but then as well China is misbehaving with Japan here in East China Sea. So this is where you find East China Sea, and this is Senkaku Ryukyu Island. And there are some other names that I want you guys to remember. You have Parasol, Spratly Island, then you have Scarborough, Macclesfield, and Pratas, right? So these are the names that you need to keep in your mind. Now I want you guys to spend 10 minutes. Once this discussion is over, download the PDF, and not just this PDF. I want you guys to open a map book as well, right? Your atlas or you can use internet, whatever you feel is good for you. Use it, but make sure that you spend, and not tomorrow, not Sunday, not next year. I want you guys to do it right after this discussion. Spend 10 minutes after this map. Study everything. If you want to use a magnifying glass, use it, right? But make sure you observe so many things here. Go through the countries and observe it from this point of view. Like Thailand. If you see Thailand, then do this, play this sort of games, like how many Thailand shares its land boundary with how many countries. So you can make a list of it. I don't want you to write it down everything, but just use your creativity a little bit and spend 10 minutes. Use a timer, right? Use your mobile phone, set a timer for 10 minutes and give your whole 10 minutes to this particular map. And after a few months, or maybe once you do revision after a week and then after a month, and next time when you will come across this topic, you will feel so confident about it. You will not have any words to thank me for this trick. Trust me, I want you guys to do it genuinely. Now, what we need to do as individuals, as citizens of our country, we need to stand with our government. Right, this is the most important thing, and it is not about BJP, NDA, right? We are talking about government of India. So we have to stand with our government. We have to be on the same page. And see, China is a country. China, in a nutshell, I would say that China has given more importance. The government of China has given more importance to material things rather than those fundamental values and other things. So people in China, they were promised that they will get good money and everything, that government will provide them good roads and schools and health facilities and everything. And then later on, we can think about or talk about democracy and other things, rights and, freedom of speech, etc. But China has not delivered that wealth. Yes, a few cities of China, they are wealthy, but not every part of China is wealthy. So what we can do is we can, as citizens, if we boycott Chinese products, then that will create pressure on Chinese businesses. And Chinese businesses, they can create pressure on Chinese government. So this is a thing that we as an individuals, as citizens, we can do this thing. Important thing that government should do is government should loop or this opposition parties should be kept well informed. Back in 2017, during this Doklam standoff, opposition leaders were briefed at Rajnath Singh's residence. And today's political polarization is Congress walked out of parliament, but the responsibility is of the ruling party. Walking out is not good. I'm not blaming Congress. It's their decision. It's their choice, right? They know what they are doing. What I'm saying is the responsibility of convincing or persuading political parties or opposition parties in such time is the responsibility of ruling party. So BJP or NDA group should do everything that is possible to make sure that they get support of all parties in our country. So we need to stand as one nation, right? As one people. And no political polarization should be allowed to come in way of national solidarity. Dear friends, please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, Stop Press. We have two articles on press, quite interesting articles. The first one is Stop Press, and this one is from the Hindu. And then I have one more. This one, right? This one is from the Hindu as well. So let's start with Stop Press. So we know the importance of press, media. Media is considered as the fourth pillar of our democracy, and the reason why we are discussing this thing is because Andhra Pradesh High Court has imposed a ban on the media plus social media from mentioning anything in relation to an FIR filed by the police against a former Advocate General of the state and others. Now, first of all, let me ask you one question. For Advocate General is a position or a post or a person who looks after all the cases of a state in our country. So Andhra Pradesh government or the Advocate General of Andhra Pradesh, he is the main law officer, is the main advocate of Andhra Pradesh government. So we have Advocate General in all our states, right? In the same way, we have one top law officer at central level as well. Can you give me the name of that office? Stick your answer in the comment section. I'm sure many of you will get it right, but I want to know how many of you know it. And if you don't know, then this is the right time for you to do a little bit of research on this topic, right? A 5-minute research, and then you will get your answer, and then you can stick your answer in the comment section. That's the main idea behind asking you questions, so that you do a little bit of research on that topic, right? It's not just about who is the first one to answer. I'm not in that game. I want you guys to be more curious and do your own self-study, and this is something that will elevate you, right? Okay, so Andhra Pradesh government, it's very strange that High Court, Andhra Pradesh High Court is asking media, or it's in fact, imposing, or there is this injunction that media and social media, you cannot mention anything about this former Advocate General FIR filed against him and others. This is violation of free speech as well as citizens' right to receive information. But there are some exemptions. I'm not saying that Andhra Pradesh High Court is doing something wrong here. See, if something is associated with, there are people in our country, they file cases just to defame the person, right? So that is something we should not allow, right? You cannot, you file a case against someone whom you don't like, and that will destroy that person. So this cannot be allowed. So to prevent possible defamation in cases where someone's privacy is invaded, like in rape cases, why we should, means the government has done it or the court has done it right. Supreme Court, I think it was Supreme Court that has said that you cannot post the photo of the victim as well as name of the victim. You cannot publicize the identity of the victim. And I totally agree with that decision. That is 100% right in my opinion. And protecting the fairness of a fair trial, or investigation, for that as well, many a times you have to inject injunctions. The Supreme Court did hold in Sahara versus SEBI 2012 that the court can grant preventive relief on a balancing of the right to free trial and a free press. However, it favored such temporary restraint on publication only in cases of real and substantial risk of prejudice to the administration of justice or a fair trial. So you cannot misuse it. The problem is that in Karnataka particularly, we find people, what they will do is they will go to the court if something is going against them, or if a case is filed against them and things like that. Then they will go to court and they will talk about they will give this excuse of defamation and privacy and this sort of things, and then they unfortunately, what courts will do is courts will give them this omnibus interim injunction that all media houses are refrained from publishing anything about. So I think what we can do is, if any particular media house is targeting a person, then yes, we can, or the court can allow or ask or order that media house to not write things about this person regarding this case. But if you ask media all across the board not to write anything, then that is not fair for democracy as well as free speech, isn't it? Moving on to next item. Be vaccine ready. Now, dear friends, this is a topic I'm sure you know many things about because we have already talked about it, isn't it? I told you that this is the right time to plan ahead. We can create a standard operating procedure now because the vaccine is not available, but we can do drills. We can do this, mock drills. Like when we will get vaccine, how we will manufacture it, how we will transport it, how we will, who are the people who will get, the first lot of this vaccine shots, and we can create some database, like how we are going to call people, their appointment, and all these SOPs can be designed right now. We can plan ahead because once we will get vaccine, once vaccine will be available, then there will be, it will be like a riot-like situation. Everyone needs one, and then we will see black marketing, and we don't want to see these sort of things because this is not fair for poor countries and poor people. So when it's finally here, how will we access the vaccine or vaccines? This is a big question, and we need to find an answer for this question. Economic toll of pandemic, we know it very well. It has destroyed so many families in terms of money. So many people have died, right? Not out of just coronavirus, but they were not able to get other medical facilities because hospitals were overstretched because of COVID-19 cases. Now, the thing is that, rich countries, developed countries, I don't want to name any particular one, but okay, the whole world knows, like USA, UK, France, Germany, then there are other countries as well. What they are doing is they are signing deals, advance purchase agreements with various different countries as well as companies. So how it works is that when you get a vaccine, when you start producing, we need this much, right? So they have they have booked their vaccine in advance, that if you get a vaccine, we need this much. You need to give us this much, right? So they have placed their orders because they have money. But what about poor countries? So this is not going to be fair for poor countries. So for that, we have this multilateral platform called COVAX. Very important one. And I believe you will find one question in your prelims examination. There are high chances that they can ask you things about COVAX initiative, right? So COVAX is working to deliver vaccines equitably to all countries. So see, remember, in the first round, we don't want this situation where a few countries will have vaccine for all its people. Let me repeat, I don't want any confusion here. We don't want a situation in which few countries, few nations will have a vaccine for all citizens. This is not going to be healthy. What we need is, what sort of situation? We need this situation that we have all countries should have vaccine for few people. And when I say few, I'm talking about corona warriors. right? So corona warriors, you have all those people who are working in field and everything. So first of all, we need to protect them. In second round, we can take all those elderly people, or with corona warriors, we can have elderly people depending on how much stock we have or how much we can distribute. So we need to work that out, or countries need to work it out right now. WHO can do it. India is going to play a very important role because we are world's largest vaccine manufacturer. Serum Institute of India alone will be manufacturing billions of doses for COVAX, Oxford, AstraZeneca and Novavax. I have one question for you. Can you give me the name of the vaccine that is found by or claimed by Russia? Stick your answer in the comment section. Now, we have this Serum Institute of India, and the chief executive of Serum Institute, Adar Poonawala has said that there are two problems. We need to address this both domestic level issues. The first one is that the world will need 15 billion doses in case of a two-dose vaccine. And unless manufacturing capacity is expanded, it will be 2024 end before every human being can be vaccinated. So what we need here is we need to boost our manufacturing capacity. Point number one. Second thing, most important thing, cold chain. Cold chain means when you produce your vaccine, it's important that this vaccine is delivered to medical store or to that vaccination center. It should be in its best quality, in best form. For that, you need cold chain. Do we have a cold chain? No, we don't. So this is the time to build it. Fortunately, we have this National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration for COVID-19, and it is working on manufacturing capacity. It is looking after delivery mechanisms. It's planning out basically, and digital inventories. That means how much stock we have, and all these things. And the vaccination order. When I say vaccination order, I'm talking about that how we will call people, how we will register, how we will differentiate who are the ones who have got this jab, who were the ones were administered the first shot. If they need second one, then when to call them and things like that. So we need to work that thing out as well. Then we have a new order in West Asia. On your screen, you have one more map. And again, I would ask you guys to spend 10 minutes after this map as well. Right? It's very important. That's why I'm asking you. It's not a big investment. And if you're a student, then this is your main job, isn't it? So do it. Now, dear friends, Saudi Arabia, you can see on your screen. You can see Israel here, Jordan here, Egypt is here. Red Sea, Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman, Strait of Hormuz, Iran, UAE. Then you can see this tiny country. Let me zoom it up for you. Can you see Bahrain here? This one, Manama, right? So these are the countries that we are going to talk about. Okay, so if we talk about this new order in West Asia, 1979, Egypt was the first Muslim country that signed a peace treaty with Israel. It was followed by Jordan in 1994, and big news is coming from USA. It's about UAE, Bahrain and Israel. They have signed a deal called Abraham Accords in the White House. It was brokered by Mr. Trump himself. USA played a very important role, and Mr. Trump said that this is a new dawn of a new Middle East. Indeed, it is a rare diplomatic win for Mr. Trump. More Arabic countries will join this Abraham Accords, and Saudi Arabia was also backing it from backdoor. See, the thing is, these countries, they used to discuss with each other. It's not like they were always fighting. They used to talk with each other. This like undercurrent or backdoor discussions were going on for a very long period of time. But this agreement means normalization of your discussion. So now you are officially recognizing each other, and you are saying that yes, we need to develop, or in this case, this Abraham Accords, UAE, Bahrain and Israel, together they will develop better economic, political as well as security engagement with each other. Mr. Trump has failed when it comes to Iran and North Korea. But here he has succeeded, of course, with this, this Abraham Accords. It's a rare diplomatic win for him, and he's going to use it in this election campaign for sure. Now, we need to ask one question, as this question is important, that what's going on with Palestine, right? This question is unaddressed, so we need to keep this thing in mind, that this job is not over yet. The second thing is, these Arabic countries it looks like Arabic countries are moving away from Palestine, but that vacuum is filled by non-Arab Muslim powers like Iran, Turkey, and their allies. With US in retreat and Turkey and Iran pursuing more aggressive foreign policies, there is a three-way contest taking shape in which Sunni-ruled Arab kingdoms, all American allies, are realigning their geopolitical interests with Israel. So you have Israel on one side, you have USA plus Arabic friends here, and then you have Iran and Turkey on this side. So this is the triangle that we can see in this part of the world at present, a geopolitical triangle, of course. Beyond the barriers of disability. The United Nations was created some 75 years ago, and at that point of time, during World War II or before that, and after World War II as well, this intolerance, discrimination, this sort of things were going on for a very long period of time. A change was required, badly needed. So UN was, the birth of UN took place. And UN was created to reaffirm faith in dignity and worth of humans in the equal rights of women and men. Fundamental values, the things that you cannot buy from the market, right? And if we want to live a sustainable life, if we want to live in a sustainable society, then we need to practice tolerance. We need to endorse the values of equality. We have to, or else we won't progress, right? Inequality and intolerance and all these things created this World War I and World War II and so many other issues that are going on, or that were going on, or that are going on in this world. But the thing is, we have, even today, unfortunately, we have, you can say, discrimination is, yes, discrimination is there, inequality is there, and here we are talking about Divyangs. I don't like to use the word disabled, but a disabled or specially abled person, in Hindi we call it Divyang. So I'm going to use the word Divyang here. So Divyang people, they are outstanding. They have this uniqueness, and all of us are unique, of course, right? But the problem is that the main problem is comparison. When you compare a person who cannot see with a person who can see, you are missing so many things. A person who cannot see would be a very good listener. A person who cannot see would be a very good, his hands are so sensitive, he has used his senses that he can shake hand with you, and without looking at your face, of course he cannot look your face, but he can tell so many things about you or your state of mind. And I'm not talking fiction here, I'm talking about science here. But we don't appreciate this sort of things, right, in normal times. World Health Organization says that nearly 15% of world's population has some or the other form of disability, making disabled people the largest global minority. If we just create a right environment, right culture, right structure, infrastructure in our society, then we can change the lives of disabled or Divyang people, Divyangjans. We can give them a very good gift, and that is life. If we can create infrastructure, if we can design buses which allows any person, a person who cannot hear, a person who cannot see, a person who cannot walk, can easily get on and alight of that bus or car, or maybe I'm talking about public transport, of course. Your trains. Look at our trains, right? In our country, trains, if you see, it's nearly impossible for a person who cannot walk to get on a train. It becomes very difficult, and particularly with the buses. See, so because we have designed the whole world keeping in mind the people who can walk easily, or who can, but we have not paid that much attention to this thing, and this is big discrimination that is still going on in our society. And we have so many youngsters in our country, they are Divyangs. if we just provide them right environment, opportunity and support, then they are super talented. Trust me, I have a friend of mine, he's super talented, right? He's so funny, so hilarious, and he's full of life. If you sit with him, then you will learn so many things from him. He will elevate you. So he is a Divyang, but he is outstanding person, and I'm sure you might have come across Divyangs, and this is my observation, that Divyangs, they have their unique qualities, right? They are good, they are super good with something. So if this is something that you also have observed, then I want you guys to know from you, if you know someone. I don't want their names, but if you have some experience to share with me, then stick your experience in the comment section. I would love to read from you. I would love to hear from you about your friends or family member or anyone whom you know, if he or she is a Divyang, and if they are good at something, then do let me know in the comment section. So what I'm saying is, basically this article, or my understanding, tells me that if we provide them right infrastructure and opportunity, then we can use their extraordinary powers, right? We can use it to make this world a bit more better, and we can use their talent. Like, their talent is asset for our country. We are not using our asset, so we need to do the thing. Last one is a pandemic and a free press. Now, very quickly, dear friends, I told you media is fourth pillar of our democracy, and informed citizenry is most important thing for so if they are informed, they can take educational guess or better decision, and more informed decision that will make government more accountable. So that's what we need, right? In democracy, this should be one of the most important thing. But the problem is, in our country, if you see this 2016 report, it says that the name of the report is Dangerous Pursuits. And this report says that journalists who report on government corruption are routinely murdered with impunity. Violent attack against journalists, including murder, are surprisingly common in our country and rarely punished. So what government should do is, government should utilize or deploy the full arsenal of tools available in a democracy to confront this challenge, to fight this powers who are trying to cage the freedom of speech as well as freedom of media. And one more thing that I would like to share with you guys is that China is authoritarian country, right? So for China, lockdown is okay because China can do it. Now, our country and so many other countries, democratic countries, they have followed China. We did lockdown. Now, I know that lockdown has created a huge amount of pain for every one of us, directly, indirectly, right? So many of us has suffered at various different levels. Some people socially, some people emotionally, mentally, financially, physically. And I do understand. I'm saying it with full sensitivity. But the thing is, okay, government was not, we have never seen anything like this before, so we can understand that out of panic, government took the best decision that at that point of time was to lock down the nation. But now we know that this was a big mistake, and we should make sure that we never repeat this sort of things, because the best way to control virus is by, you can nudge people, you can persuade them, right? You can provide them proper information, and that is possible when media is allowed freely to perform. When you control media, when you say that you don't have to give this many numbers, people should not be scared and things, they should know reality, right? And then you can provide them solutions like what are the things that we need to do. So many democratic countries, they have followed China in terms of lockdown. We did the same thing, rather than other few countries like Japan is a country. They never had any lockdown. What they did, they informed their citizens like do's and don'ts, and people followed it, and Japan is doing quite well in terms of COVID-19, or this battle against COVID-19. So media plays a very important role here. I hope you can make this connection with what we are discussing and what the topic is all about. And that's basically everything from my side. Thank you very much for watching this video. God bless you all. Jai Hind.